I don't understand why no lady want to marry me in this village. Upon this my fine tummy, eh? Some of them even open their mouth and say that I am smelling. What nonsense. Nah, I'm tired of being single oh. Whether they like it or not, I must marry today. By fire, by force. A long time ago, a rich couple gave birth to a mysterious baby. He was bigger than his age and he looked very scary. The couple felt that he was a cursed child, so they placed him in a basket and placed him on a stream. The basket was later found by a poor couple who had been barren for 7 years. They took him in and saw him as a blessing, but the neighbors were very surprised and uncomfortable because the baby looked very scary. Obiano grew up to be a very fat, greedy man, always eating anything he sets his eyes on, but he was still never satisfied. He would go to the kitchen every morning and eat whatever he sees and then sleeps off. His mother has tried to caution him on this silly attitude, but he never listened. As time went on, he developed a strong body odor, and this made people to stay away from him. He would carry his basket to his father's farm every morning and pack whatever he sees that he can eat, even raw ones. And this made people to start avoiding him. One sunny afternoon, Mr. Obiano talked to himself. Nah, time I've reached when I'll find woman. Oh, I need a lady to comfort me now. I cannot be alone all the time. I need a very beautiful lady that will be my wife and will stay with me forever. No matter what, she will always be with me. He told his mother about his decision, but his mother advised him to work on himself first before looking for a woman in his life. But he told his mother not to worry, telling her that no woman can ever resist him because he was so irresistible. One day, Obiano set off with his basket to get food from his father's farm as usual. But on his way back from the farm, he saw a very beautiful maiden carrying water. This one fine oh. Kai, I must have this one. She's too beautiful. Obiano thought to himself. Hello? Hello, pretty. It's me. Hello? Mr. Starboy is talking to you and you're walking away? Eh? The lady turned back and looked at him, laughing. Hi. My name is Obiano, every girl's dream man. But my friends call me Starboy. You see, I was just passing this area and I saw you fetching water. And I told myself, why will a beautiful girl like you be fetching water? So, can I know your name? Because I want to marry you immediately.
See this man, oh. So of all the handsome and responsible men in this community, you expect me to get married to a stinking buffalo like you? Better go and find something reasonable and do with your life, so that you can stop being a waste of space to your parents.
Auntie, move away from here. You are not even happy that a fine boy like me is talking to you, a homie. Have any boy like me talked to you before? He sighed as he walked away. But Mr. Obiano did not rest. He kept on disturbing all the girls in his community and nearby ones to marry him and become his wife. But they all turned him down. One day, he narrated his challenges with a very good friend of his named Kanu. Kanu then advised him to take good care of himself and start doing something with his life like his fellow men in the community. Kanu, I've heard what you have said though. But for the meantime, I think I can marry that your sister. She's very, very fine. She will make a good wife for me. Or what do you think? God forbid. Don't even say a thing like that. Aside that you are my good friend, I can never pray for such to happen. See this human being, oh. Who want to marry your sister herself? Abeg, stand up and get out of my house. Nonsense. As the months went by, the news of Obiano's search for a wife became a trending news in the village. A lot of ladies started gossiping among themselves. wondering who would ever want to marry a stinking man like Obiano.
Have you people heard the latest news? Obiano is looking for a wife.
Obiano was also known for farting in the air wherever he goes. This also made people to be very, very irritated and never wanted to associate with him. They kept on mocking him and spreading the news all across the community. One day, his mother was very sick. She called Obiano into her room and began to talk to him. She began to tell him that she was not his real mother, that she only found him in a basket while he was still very small. She also advised him to start being responsible and act like a man. She then wished him luck and gave up the ghost. His father had earlier died few years ago, and now his mother had just died. He tried to call the villagers for help, but they all abandoned him. Even when he tried to explain what was happening, but no one was ready to give him a listening ear. Obiano cried and buried his mother alone. One day, Obiano was walking in the forest, very lonely and sad, when he noticed a girl fighting with some boys for her freedom. They were trying to kidnap her, he thought. So he decided to help her. He went to her rescue and beat up all the kidnappers. It was then that he discovered that she was the princess of the kingdom. "We must return you to the palace immediately. The king will be very, very worried though." But the princess refused to go, telling him that she was actually running away from her father. She said her father was trying to send her to marry someone that was old enough to be her own father. She begged Obiano to take her to his house, but he refused. "No, you will not want to go to my house. My house is not a place where a princess like you want to be." But she kept on begging him to take her to his house. Obiano was ashamed because of he knew how stinking and dirty his house was. He could not remember the last time he cleaned his house since the death of his mother. But when he saw how the princess kept on begging him, he had no choice but to take her to his house. When they got to his house, he was very, very ashamed of himself. But the princess didn't seem to care. She just began to arrange the place. He became very confused, and for the first time, he decided to do something with his life and joined her with the choice. Within few days, Obiano changed completely. He started being useful and stopped lazing around. He became a meat merchant, and people came from neighboring towns to purchase his meat. "Nah, princess, I thank you. Since you came into my life just changed. Everything about me just changed. I just start feeling right. Princess, you do good for me, yo. Thank you." The princess would just smile and look at him. Within few days, Obiano fell in love with the princess, and people could not believe their eyes that the smelling Obiano they know was now in love with the princess of the land. They could not just imagine it. They could not believe that a man they all rejected was now close to the princess. One day, the palace guards came in and arrested Obiano. They accused him of kidnapping the princess. The princess tried to explain things for them, but they were unwilling to hear him out. When they got to the palace, they met the king looking very angry and discussing with an old wealthy man. The old rich man looked very surprised and broke down in tears on seeing Obiano, and he screamed, "That is my son!" The whole palace was tensed up. Everybody looked confused. Mr. Samuel, what do you mean? Please explain to us. I am the king of this land and I deserve to know. The rich old man explained to them that he was the real father of Obiano. He explained how him and his mother abandoned Obiano in the stream because they were ashamed of him, how he looked when he was still very little. He begged Obiano to forgive him and come back into his life. Obiano was full of shock. He just broke down in tears and didn't know what to say. The princess then begged Obiano to forgive his father, and Obiano stood up and hugged his father in tears. The whole palace was very happy. Everybody could not just believe what was happening. The news spreaded like wildfire that Obiano was the son of a very rich man. people could not believe it, that the man they all rejected was now among the wealthiest in the community. A lot of people began trooping into his house to see whether what they heard was true, and they were all shocked. They began to beg Obiano. One way or the other they have offended him, and Obiano accepted all of them with good heart. At the end, Obiano got married to the princess, and they had a blissful home. The end. This story teaches us not to despise or reject anyone because of their status or their color or their condition, because you don't know what they might become tomorrow. If you were Obiano, would you have ever forgive his father after he abandoned him in the stream while he was still a baby? Drop your answer in the comment section below. I know you love this story. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. And don't forget to share to your friends. See you in our next story. Goodbye.